Okay, folks, here we go. We're going to chit chat a little bit here tonight. Debut for you all for the BD14 Anthology that is coming up in less than 2 weeks. We're going to be launching this thing. Is our now what has become our annual event. Thanks to you all making BD13 such a big success, and everybody was asking me like, "Are you going to do this again?" I said, "Well, I guess we could do it again. And if I'm going to do it again, then I need some co-writers once more. And I have reached out to a couple of folks, one of which is with us this evening. As you can see, we have Laurie Calcaterra joining us tonight. She is going to be writing Allison's Wonderland, which is a it's I don't know what you call this to be if I'm being honest. So I'm going to bring Laurie in to help me out because it is a prequel ish. It is a sequel ish. It is a introduction ish. It is kind of all of these things because the
Yeah.
story that you're writing takes place within the first arc of the story that I wrote, God, 12 years ago. And we'll show you some of the pages and stuff so you get a little better sense of what the hell we're talking about. But first, Laurie Calcaterra, writer extraordinaire, Path of the Pale Writer, live on Kickstarter right now. But go ahead and give them the 411, Laurie.
I'm Laurie Calcaterra. I'm, like Tom said, the writer creator of a Western apocalypse series called Path of the Pale Writer. I am newish to the community. I love writing. I came from a production company in Detroit. I was actually choreographing fight scenes because I'm a lifelong martial artist. And then they asked me to write short form web content when that's kind of where I got bit with the writing bug. This is back in 2000, I want to say 17. And I've been writing since, but mostly screenplay. And then I took my story and decided I wanted to turn it into a comic book. I've been reading comics as a young adult. I started. I wasn't the lifelonger reading DC and Batman. Like my husband was reading Batman from when he was a kid, but I probably got into comics. I want to say the 90s to the 2000s. I was reading Image. I was reading The Watchmen and Walking Dead and Saga and hey, hi Mike. So that's kind of where I started. So I never got the superhero phase. I got the
Image was
the
superheroes, though. I mean, that was like
I,
wildly superheroes.
who?
Image, you said you were in with Image. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
Spawn
but
and
it wasn't like
Wildcats and
no, I don't even think I got that phase of Image. It was more like Saga and Walking Dead, like a lot of Robin Kirkman,
that's like in the
West.
last 20 years though. That's not the
Yeah, okay.
90s.
Maybe 2000s then?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the first thing I read was Who Watches the Watchmen, right? And I mean, like that was out for it wasn't brand new when I found it. So
Right.
I'm
That was
an
like
adult,
yeah, that was
right?
like 20 years at that point.
Yeah. So,
You're so
so that's
behind,
where I
Lori.
was.
You're so behind. You got to got to
I
catch up.
know. But it's like I enjoyed it, and I was a consumer. I knew what I liked, and I watched a lot of movies back then. Obviously, not now.
You made your choice.
I know. Well, I had kids. That's what did it. That's not what did it. That's what did it. And so we took our story and we decided to move it into a comic book format. And that's when I really started learning how the community works and like how to run a campaign and how to format and all of that stuff. So that was about 2020 when I started that. And like pandemic happened, everything fell flat, started again in 2022 because there was the whole pandemic where I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. But yeah, so now we're here and producing books, and I started writing other creator-owned comics with William Russell and Psycho Sal. So I did 3 issues of that, and then Tom and I met through just the community as well, like social media. And when you came to me with like, "Hey, you ever thought about writing other stuff?" And I thought about doing anthologies before, but I'm so careful with my time because of the kids, because of my own project, because, right? But when Tom came and knocked and he was like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing with BDI14, and it's the Oz one that I wrote," I was like, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready." Like I want to get my hands on this. And so that's kind of how it all started. But it's a Western and it's different. And I love the Oz series. It was just so well done. It's very much a Western, but it still pays homage to like all the characters in Oz. And not just the movie, but the books. You know what I mean? There's so much more in the books that we don't see on the screen.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's why I was like, yes, I want to do this. So yeah, now we're here.
Now we're here. Yeah, it's almost here. It's almost here.
Almost. Yeah.
We were lucky enough to get the series artist Carlos Reno, who's been doing the book for us for the last so many years. He has come back to do the series, or do this story, I should say. So we get the same visuals that you guys are already used to, and Gat Melvin, current colorist. Of course, we had Kate Finnegan and we had Ceci de la Cruz on the colors and so on over the years. But Gat has been coloring all of Carlos's stuff recently. So we got that whole team back together for you. So it's going to look just like what you know from the series. So it's not some weird hyper deviation. It's not like some manga anime Oz all of a sudden or anything. So we'll show you some of that. And it looks great. It really looks great. Like I said, it takes place during issue 2 of the original series, like directly as issue 2 is starting. That's kind of where this little expands out, that little moment in time. And I think it works really well. For those that didn't catch the beginning, there's our witch. Of course, the witch is back, but of course she's dead. So obviously this is going back to the beginning. Yeah. There's Allison in the back right there. Allison has appeared already 2 other times. So while this is her first story appearance, she actually first appeared on an art print done by Jesse Witchman about 6 years ago or so. So we had a shot of Gail and Allison together on that art print. That's her first appearance. And then she made an appearance on a cover for Legend of Oz 2425, the last issue that we did as part of the series. She made her first comic book appearance on the cover for that book. And then this is her first story appearance. So we get to know exactly what the hell it is. Well, not exactly. I never say exactly. You get to know. You get to know.
We bring in a lot of questions is what we did.
That's true. Yeah. We give you a couple of answers and a couple of more questions. And I think that's, par for the course for Oz and the idea that, somehow we have Wonderland attached to our Oz. I mean, that's not a new concept. Oz and Wonderland have been crossing over for decades. But it's funny that I when I started dropping all this Allison stuff over the years, I kept telling people, do you not understand what I'm doing? Like, I'm not sure I'm getting the right reaction that I'm expecting from all of this. And then we put her on a cover and I was like,
crickets?
What are you not understanding?
We're doing a thing.
Yeah. And then so finally when this came around, I was like, okay, it's time to just like put it in their face. Like, yeah, I've been telling you for long enough. We're gonna put it in your face. And so I gave Laurie the go ahead to make this happen. And then like I joked about I don't know, a couple of shows ago when we were on Carissa's show, I was like, I was pretty sure you hated me very, very quickly. Because we were such a back and forth on the script and this and that and too much of that and not enough of this and spin it around and flip it and bop it. And
man, it was a great learning experience because again, when you're writing in someone else's world, there's so much canon, and I try to do the back reading and I try to understand as best I can, but you as the creator always know best. And so when I put stuff in there, well, first of all, BDI and Path of the Pale Rider are a little bit different. And right from the jump, Tom was like, we got to dial you back, Laurie. And I was like, okay. So I won't be killing anybody off, so stuff like that. But yeah, it was like just learning how to walk around in that world and just fine tune the story to what you were looking for. And I mean, like, I think we had the beginning and the end like in place very quickly. And it was like, all right, let's fine tune this to make sure it hits harder and that it makes sense and that we allude to things. You know what I mean? I love doing that too, where it's like we're foreshadowing, we're building in these other visuals without dialogue that you might blink and miss it, but we're telling you things visually right from the beginning. And so that was just, I had a great time. I was more nervous that I turned in a script and then Tom went on vacation for like a week. And I was like, he hates it. Like he's gonna write me back an email and be like, this was a thank you anyway. But have a nice life. I was prepared for that, right? But then when he came back and he was like, let's change some things, I'm like, I could totally do that. Like, let's fine tune it. So it was just, I think it was a great learning experience for me. Because again, I've been in this for 2 years and I'm just so used to writing my own thing,
Sure.
right? And I go through a different creative process when I'm on Psycho Sal. Like I interact with that creator as well, trying to fine tune it to make it what he wants. And so it's just part of the process. And as long as people can put their ego aside and learn and, you know, try to make it the best version of itself, I can do that. Let's do it. Right.
Yeah, it was it was, well, basically like we just talked about, like alluding to things and so on. Laurie basically wanted to just give you everything.
I want to
Laurie,
smack you in the face from the
Laurie was
first
like,
page.
I
And
want to
Tom
give them
wouldn't let me. I was like, here's all the things. And he was like, nope, nope, we're not gonna give him all the things. And I was like, come on. Nope, too many things.
Yeah.
Take out all my tricks. Fine. Take it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think
I'll hit you with different things.
yeah, I think it came out good. I think it's going to be a nice for those that know Oz, know my Oz anyway. I think it's going to be a nice sort of, you know, trip back into this place that they recognize, which is always fun. But we're not retconning anything. We're not rebooting anything. I'm going to make sure my computer doesn't go to sleep here. Plug in, buddy. It fits just squarely perfectly where it needs to fit and gives you the information that it needs to do without disrupting what has come before. And I think that was one of the tricks too, is kind of like we have to be careful that we're not disrupting the events that already came, because I'm one of these guys that's like, I don't want to retcon anything. Like, I don't want to go back and be like, we can, no, it's there. It's done. Like, let it sit. And if you're a good writer and you've run into a problem, you should be able to write your way out of the problem. You know, one way or another, you should be able to write your way out of the problem. And so, number one, I didn't want to create problems. And number two, I didn't think that we had any problems. It was just a matter of like, how much do we really want to divulge versus how much do we want to hint at and become, and how mysterious do we want to be?
I wanted to be as mysterious as possible.
Yes. Yeah. Fair. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it works though. When you get to that last page, when you guys see that last page, it'll click, and you'll see all the doors that could open from this world. You know what I mean? There's so many possibilities of where this story can go, and I'm here for it. I feel like I'm emotionally attached to Allison at this point. I really want to see where this story goes. So even if I'm not writing it, I'm going to be following this thing. Like, okay, Allison, where are you up to next? What you doing?
Yeah, and I think the other interesting part of it is that it connects to the beginning of Oz, and because of a certain character, it also connects directly to the end of Oz, or at least where I am in the story. So it's actually has a bookend element to it. So, you know, there's going to be this new Allison character, but then there's also this other character that Oz fans already know who he is and what he's doing later in the series. So, you know, the idea that he now is back at the beginning of the whole story, it again, that creates all of this more mystery, like who is, what is, how is, when is, where is. And you know, that's the fun of storytelling, especially when you're talking about like long form storytelling and you know, doing spin-offs and all this kind of stuff. So
That's so great. That's what I love about really well written stories, is that you can go back and explore a time that you've already been through, and maybe flip the perspective around to a different character, and it expands what happened, a little bit more, and it makes it more interesting, more fleshed out, and it just, sucks you into that story just that much more.
I hope so. Anyway,
I mean,
yeah,
that's the plan.
I hope so. But yeah, and that's one of the fun things about having a long series as well, is you reach points in your storytelling where you can start to circle back and use what you did before and bring it forward and be like, look, it has bonus value now, because now we introduced it back here, but now it has bonus value to the story again. And this is why, and this is why the story matters as you're reading all the way through it. It's like when we did the TikTok spinoff, there's a few characters in Oz that we created ourselves. They are our characters that are introduced into the book. And one of them she's just known as the Girl in Green. And she was introduced in the TikTok series as TikTok was basically, he's a bounty hunter with his Kaleida buddy. And basically they've been sent off to find this artifact. And the only thing that they come across is the Girl in Green. And so as he gets her and takes off with her, he starts to learn kind of who she is and what's her backstory. But quickly he realizes that other people are after her too. And they're like, but why? She doesn't even know why. She's like, I don't even know why. I don't know what's going on. And so TikTok has to figure out like how to keep her safe. He goes from becoming the bounty hunter who wants the bounty to like, something's wrong, we have to make sure she's okay. So in that story, he drops her off in another part of Oz called Ix, and then gets the other people that are following her to kind of follow him away, leaving her in Ix. And then when we get to the story that we just wrote, this last arc of Oz, the Girl in Green appears again, and we find out exactly who she is, why she is what she is, and why she's thought of as the artifact. So again, it's all, it all works together over time. But, sometimes it takes a while for it all to sort of make sense and Tetris itself into place.
And I was telling stories like that too. My story, Path of the Pale Rider, is 12 issues just for the first arc. And I feel like, especially because that one was written as a screenplay, there's an act 1 and act 2 and an act 3. And people are like, why so many issues? I'm like, because I'm building to something. You have to understand, and you have to be emotionally attached to these characters before I can start doing stuff to them or start them on their quest. So I feel that way too, like with just the way that I build stories in general. I want you to be attached to people. I want you to have empathy for them when they're on their mission.
Hopefully.
Otherwise, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah. 100%.
So I'm with you, where it's like, I will take the 12 or 36 issues to deliver the story, because that's what sometimes it takes. But then do something fun in between, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's not unlike what, Marvel and DC used to do back in the day. They would just be like, hey, Spider-Man fights the Rhino this time, and Spider-Man fights Electro this time, and whatever. And then 20 issues down the line, those guys would come back and they would, level up and layer up the story and be like, oh, I fought you 20 issues ago and now you're back. What's going on? Well, now I've got the gem of power, and it just keeps growing and growing. And that's how these universes are built is over time. You don't build a universe like in 5, 6, 8 issues. It's just you tell a story in that point, but you haven't quite built a universe.
Right.
And that's once you reach a point where you've built legitimately a universe where you can, when your storytelling starts looking like you've got red threads coming back to all these things, like a murder scene,
crazy, the crazy board.
Yeah. That's when you have a universe. Yeah. And that's super fun. That's super fun. And I'm only just getting to that point myself with Oz, with Critter, with Penny for Your Soul, because they've been running for so long. Yeah, but along the way, you tell cool stories.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like
yes. Yeah, I want to do BD14 because it's another way to kind of use my creative muscles in ways I haven't used before. You know what I mean? Switch genres, do something different.
A little. It's still Western.
Yeah, but it's not horror.
No.
There's no zombies.
No. There's monkeys.
There are monkeys.
There's a monkey. There's a monkey. Guys, those are just hanging out with us. We're going to be here for about another, 20-ish minutes or so. And then we're going to go join Carissa Grant on her show. So we'll continue all of this in the 8 o'clock hour with Carissa. But if you got questions, we're just shooting the shit here. I'm going to show you some art here in a second. If you have questions about the book, if you have questions for Laurie about anything, feel free to jump in. You don't worry about cutting us off or anything, because we're just on the fly here.
You can ask me about martial arts. I'll answer those questions too.
See, anything. So, but we are going to show you some stuff right now. So, as I said, we have Carlos Reno and Gat Melvin doing this book based on Laurie's script. So we're going to show you the first 3 pages. All right. The first 3 pages. So, prepare yourself. Oh, monkey, like monkey. There it is.
Well, I mean, this is kind of on par for me, where I was like, oh, there's death in the first panel. That's kind of where I.
Yeah, but I think anyone that knows my Oz, knows precisely where we are in the story right now, and hopefully they'll be able to jump in and get it. But I also think that it's written in such a way that someone who hasn't read Oz, there's enough information, sort of like, hey, what just happened? Information that they'll be able to read it without any problem at all. So, so there we got Allison coming into town, and the witch, of course, and the bartender. There is page 2. Page 2, super dramatic.
That witch, man.
She's good. She's good.
She is dramatic.
And page 3 just turned in here, kicking that chessboard all over the place.
She's everywhere. Gosh, I would hate to be that bartender.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to show you guys. We're not going to go too deep. Remember, these are all short stories. So it's an anthology. All 3 of the stories are 10 pages. You have the Legend of Oz story by Laurie. I'm writing a Critter story by myself from the Critterverse. And then Barry Dutter, who's an old school Marvel writer from back in the olden days, he is writing a Blue Jays story. And that'll be Blue Jays' first official in costume story as well. So a lot of firsts in these, but last year we had all kinds of firsts as well. First appearance of Jasmine, first appearance of Daisy and Dawn. So yeah, these are becoming not just simply annual events, but like
introduction. Yeah.
Plane just flew over the house.
I heard it. It was super close, man.
Like it was 50 feet above me. Like it was like
crazy.
Dropping bombs or something.
Crashing.
Yeah. No.
Concern.
So these are becoming sort of first appearance books, which is kind of fun as well. Cool. Help expand the universes and the stories and so on. And then this just got turned in, guys. You are getting to see this for the first time. This is like 30 minutes old. This is Bun Leung, who's been doing, he always does our chibi magnets that we do for our campaigns. And so there will be 3 of them again this year, just like there were last year. This one just got turned in, so I figured we'd go ahead and show it to you. There's Allison pouring drinks and giving winks.
Winks are poisoned. What is in that bottle?
Well, it's the Wild West. You never really knew.
Mm-hmm. Be careful.
Yeah. So that will be that'll be stretch goal number 3 on the campaign, guys, to go along with Blue Jay and the Clockwork Critter from the other 2 stories. So yeah, so we're basically templating this just like we did last year, so everybody kind of has a sense of what we're doing. If you didn't get last year's book, you'll be able to get it here. Quick catch up. We all have the quick catch up, so you'll be able to get issue 1. Or it's not even issue 1. It's just
issue 1.
Annual 2013, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. You'll be able to get that along with the new stuff. And then along the way, like last year we had stretch goals where we unlocked bonus pinup art. And then all the backers get to vote on the characters that the pinups end up being.
What?
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
please find an example.
I'm not sure if I have a copy of it in here. Let me see.
Fail.
Let me see. Let me see. Do. No, I don't have a copy with me. I don't.
No.
I don't believe. But yeah, so when we unlock them, nope, that's what's minor. So when we unlock them, we do a little poll on the campaign itself, so that the backers are the ones voting, and we give them like 3 options, like who do you want, this one, this one, this one, and they vote, and then we have artists do them up. So last time we unlocked 3 of those, so you get 3 stories plus 3 pinups, and then you've got all your fancy covers and stuff too, which we'll start showing you later in the week. But if you're a part of our Patreon, hint, 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 you're watching all of this happen as it happens. You get all the behind the scenes looks. We just debuted another cover today for this book by CB Zane, who's doing the cover. We have a new artist who goes by the name of the Zork. He's doing a cover. I will tell you that for Oz and Allison, Nei Rufino is doing that cover. So you guys all know Nei. She just turned in her rough today. It's going to be super cool. And then Brian Peterson's doing his Blue Jay cover. And just like last year, we are also going to once again celebrate Cow Appreciation Day. So we will have our Blue Jay cover as well as our Moo Jay cover once again.
That's funny.
Were you unaware of our
I was not aware you guys celebrated
Cow Appreciation Day? Yeah.
I was not aware. I know about some of them because we've talked about like Goth Day and like Catnip Awareness Day, of course, with the camp crossover event going on those days, Skateboard Day, etc. Corn Dog Day, right?
Corn Dog.
Isn't there a Corn Dog Day? Yeah, I didn't know there was a Cow Appreciation Day.
There is.
I need to look at this calendar.
There is.
What other holidays am I missing? You need to take off work for all of them.
Trying to find where they went, and I'll show you. Okay, so here is, there we go. So Blue Jay is another character that's been around for us for a little while, but she's been just sporadically appearing in various things. She first appeared in the camp crossover stuff as her regular normal person, Chloe. And then this will be her first in action in suit story.
Is she part of the Critterverse?
Unofficially, yes. So here, let me see. This is, no, we want this one. So these are the covers that we did last year that we'll show you. So this is Blue Jay doing her selfie thing in her costume, her regular costume, her hero costume. And then we have the Moo Jay, which she's in her cow costume.
Oh my gosh. You guys are funny. I just have to laugh sometimes because even though like I'm on the horror group, but when you guys do your pretty girl stuff, it just makes me laugh. When they're like having pillow fights and Belle from frickin' Zombies versus Princesses. Wait, Princesses versus Zombies? Did I say it wrong?
Yep.
When she's like touching people to see them, but she doesn't stop at their face. And I'm just like, okay. I just have to laugh. I'm like, that's not how that works. But that's fine. Artistic, right.
That's right. So Brian did these last year. He's been doing pretty much all of our Blue Jay stuff, and so he's working on covers right now. And they are going to be bonus specialty homage covers. I'm not telling anyone what they are. Homaging just yet.
Just tell us bonus homage covers and say nothing.
Nope. Absolutely not. When the time is right. But there's a reason we're doing this particular homage. We don't do homage covers very often, but there's a very specific reason we are doing this particular one, and with this particular character as well. So Yeah, you guys will have to wait and see that. But again, if you're a Patreon member, you'll see it as soon as we see it.
Go sign up for Patreon.
That's right. And all of our Patreon guys. So if you're a paying member of Patreon, there's a $5 level and a $10 level. If you're even at the $5 level and you back our Kickstarter campaigns, you get what's called Patreon perks. And in the past, Patreon perks have been mostly sketch cards, original art sketch cards with something sketched on them, not just a blank. You actually get a sketch card with somebody, drawing on it. And then we also did, when we did Video Games Day, Brian Peterson did the big 3-piece girls playing video games cover set. We took that piece of art and put it together on a nice oversized metal card. And all of our patrons got that. And it's the only way to get that item. So we make specialty items for the patrons that are also backing our campaigns.
That's cool.
Yeah, boy. That's right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta be special.
Yeah. But I don't choose whether you're special or not. You choose if you're special or not. If you're special,
touche.
You just say, I'm special, and I have joined your Patreon. That's it. You're officially special at that point. We've got like 30 some people on there right now. So plus they get to do things like vote on events within Big Dog Inc. So they actually got to vote for some of they got to vote for Chloe's name, Blue Jay's regular identity. They voted for Chloe. So that's why she became Chloe. Our rabbit character from Oz, they voted to name him Beauregard. So they get to actually name some of the characters. They got to vote last year on who the pillow fight participants would be. And they never ceased to amaze me in their voting, because I was pretty sure who I thought was going to make the vote, and I was completely wrong. But whatever you guys want, that's what you get. And they just recently voted on who is going to be the members of the inaugural 2024 Big Dog Bikini Team, which will also be taking place during the BD14 Anthology. So Gail and Chloe and Danica and Catnip are your inaugural bikini team members. MR Gunn's going to be doing that cover.
Play volleyball? What do you do on a bikini team? You just pose in a bikini?
Do you not remember? Yeah, basically. Do you not remember the olden days of the Swedish bikini team?
No. Do you think I was paying attention to Swedish bikini teams?
The Swedish bikini team was like a cultural event. They had something to do with beer back in the day. I think they were promoting like Budweiser or Coors or something. Something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, for a few years, it was like that was a marketing campaign for I want to say it was beer. And yeah. And so I don't even like we talked about the Princess versus Zombie scene that I want to do. I was like, I don't know where it came from. I was like, oh yeah, the Big Dog Bikini Team. Yeah. This sounds amazing. And so I threw it at the Patreon members, and I was like, so what do you want? Yeah. We're going to take 4 of these girls. I gave them a list of like 12. And yeah.
Did you put them through like the March Madness brackets?
No, you don't have that ability. It's just a straight up poll. It's vote for whoever you want. It's a very simple poll. I guess we could have like taken and done it ourselves. But we needed 4 characters anyway. It wasn't like we wanted to get down to 1. But where is the
my hair is giant today. Just looking at my hair taking over. It has its own zip code. Everything is bigger in Texas, including my hair.
Well, is that because of
it's because it's in Texas.
That's what it's because it's in Texas. It's because it's all of the all of your humidity down there.
Well, we are humid. We're not as humid as Michigan though, because I remember when we were in Michigan, like 80 felt really hot. It was oppressive because of how much humidity. It's not so bad until it gets into the 100s here, and then it's pretty bad. But it was like 102 today, felt like 107. And so you get sweaty and just, yeah, that's what happens.
Well, I was going to post the logo that I made for it, but I can't find what I did with it.
Oh, yeah.
I saved it in the wrong folder somewhere.
No, you guys, see, this happens all the time. I'm like, I put it in this special place, so I remember where it is, and then you forget where that special place is, and you're like, it lost the time. And then like 2 months later, you're like, oh, look,
there it is.
Here's the thing.
There it is. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. So we're gonna wind down here in a little bit, guys. Again, if you have questions for us, you got people just hanging out watching, that's fine. But if you got questions, let us know.
Can I drop my I don't think I have a wrench. I'll put it in the private chat. I'll put the link for the Path of the Pale Rider if you guys want to check it out.
I don't even have a private chat.
You have private chat?
I
There's
don't.
comments in private chat up top.
I literally don't have it. Literally do not have it. Yeah, because I know it's on the other. It's. Oh no, I see it. It's in a different spot now. They moved it.
StreamYard.
Yeah, there's a comments button at the top, and then there's a private chat button down like lower underneath these other icons. Yeah, it's in a different spot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I knew I had it.
If anybody's interested in checking it out, we're running for like another 6 days. I think we're counting down.
Drop it in there for you.
We do silly things. Like I have chicken nugget related humor, so I apologize when you watch my welcome video. It's out there, but it will entertain you. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, she laughs at us for making cow day, but she's over here playing with chicken nuggets.
I totally am. And like we have the blooper reel where my kids were like throwing chicken nuggets at me, and like one bounces off my head. You can hear them laugh about it. They thought it was great fun. So, but yeah, we do fun stuff. And the comic itself is not something you're gonna see anywhere else. It's different. But in a good way. It's like it's entertaining. It'll make you think. We do a lot of foreshadowing, a lot of world building, and it's a place that's it's pretty difficult to be in. And we just have this one character who's trying to figure out, well, really, what broke death, because death doesn't function correctly anymore. So you get things like giant undead bears who just want to rip your face off, but everybody loves them. Stuff like that. We have zombie ethics. We have conspiracy theories. Yeah, it's Path of the Pale Rider. Go check it out.
Zombie ethics. Like the zombies have ethics, or the people have ethics in how they deal with the zombies?
Well, okay, so the zombies in Path are thinking zombies. It's just like if your body were to die, but you're still you inside of it, so you're rotting, right? You're not trying to eat people. There's no zombie horde trying to eat your flesh and your brains. But as people decay, they lose their memory. They get violent. It's like having dementia and fast forward, but your body is also rotting. So you can have like the body horror where like someone's cut in half, but they're still talking to you. They still know what's going on. So you can have undead children, mama, you know what I mean? But they're starting to lose their memory, or they are chaotic because their brain is rotting. So the zombie ethics parts comes into it, like, are you allowed to drive a car? Are you allowed to vote? Can you have firearms? Can you own property? Right? What do you do with this now ever-growing population of people that are chaotic and they can't control themselves, and it hits them all differently? So at first you might be yourself until you're not. And it might be a month for you. It might be a week for me until I'm violent and hitting people with my car.
You are playing with existentialism.
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
I am. Yes, I am. Yeah. And so we answer a lot of questions. We're getting into that second act at this point, where we start answering questions, and then Jude is going to be on his new mission. And then, of course, everything will go wrong, right? Because it's the middle part of a movie. So then in the third act, we can answer questions and fix things. Fix. If you know me, I kill a lot of people.
Kill things.
Kill things. Twice or more. Because in this world, they could just keep coming back, right? Yeah, don't come for me after the first issue is all I gotta say.
So Path of the Pale Rider is existentialism meets zombie bears.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, with some conspiracy theories, some question your humanity moments. Yeah, that's what we do.
It's good.
And then when we get bored, we smash pumpkins. That's one of our. That's the next one we have to unlock. So we've unlocked the PDF bundles. We've unlocked the. We just unlocked the 4x6 print. We've unlocked 2 poker cards, and then we're onto the slice and dice, which I pull the backers, and then they get to name a fruit or vegetable. Like we named a watermelon. I say we. They named the watermelon King Joffrey Baratheon. And then since the martial art plays into it, they voted on a weapon that I had to use to destroy King Joffrey Baratheon. And I dressed up as Pikachu because why not? And then, yeah, so I cut the watermelon to about 30 pieces with the Filipino short sword. So the shenanigans we get into just because we can, right? I mean, why not? It's a fun time.
Yeah. No, I've told you before, you're wildly out of control.
And you know what? The fans love it.
And that's it. That's it. Yeah. No, you are existing on planes of creativity and such that I have not even dared step a toe upon. So, and I give you all the props for it, because it's you're clearly having a good time. They're clearly having a good time. That's all that really matters.
Yes.
So yeah, Path of the Pale Rider, guys. How long do you have left?
I think it's flipping down to 5 days today.
All right.
It flips over at like I think 8 o'clock Eastern.
So like Friday?
Sunday. I think. Let me go look. It says view project. Sunday, July 7th, 7 p.m. It says 6 days to go, but it'll flip down to 5 today.
Okay.
So.
All right. And
I don't know. Kickstarter math.
Yeah, I'm seeing comments on my feed on Facebook, but none of them are in this thing here.
I was gonna say I haven't seen like comments since Mike said flip it,
yeah,
boop it.
Yeah, and there's comments on Facebook. So I don't know what is going on with all of that.
Oh no.
Because this should be, it's all public and everything. So I apologize if we missed your comments, guys. It was not intentional. I see you all chatting in there, but there's like 35 comments on the feed. And
and I don't ignoring you, I promise.
I'm not seeing like any of them. Yeah, I've had some weird stuff going on with my StreamYard. So I'll see if we can get that fixed. So apologies for not acknowledging you all, but we just there's nothing on my side of this over here. So
dude, it won't even let me see those on Facebook. I see 4 comments.
Yeah, it's really weird. Something really weird is happening with the connection of these things. So, yeah. But anyway, you guys can watch this back anytime you like. You got questions for me or Laurie, you can comment and we'll catch up. Make sure you guys go all follow Laurie. She's on the Facebooks and the things. Go follow her up as well. And then in about 10 minutes, we will be live again over on Carissa Grant's show. And I'll be forwarding that and sharing that so you guys can come hang out with us. I think it's going to be her and me and Laurie and Chad. I think Chad's finally decided to show back up again. And then occasionally there are other guests, but it gets weird. There's often Shark Talk. If you like Shark Talk, that's a common thing. Chad has a book running right now called Set the Hook as well. Carissa Grant has her book called Worthy Chaos running right now. So they're all still running. So if you want to get a little more info about that stuff, we'll talk a little bit about it at 8 o'clock Eastern time. But that's going to do it for us. So thanks for chilling out, Laurie. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on and introducing me to the crowd. Nice to meet all of you. I look forward to interacting with you. Come follow me on the socials. We got good stuff going on.
Yeah, boy. All right, guys. We'll see you in 8 minutes on Carissa Grant's stream. Bye-bye.
To the after party.